Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so I call myself trying to put this in a different hairstyle. I do like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I am taking these braids out this week. Hi, everybody. Honey, y'all can kind of see my grays up here. Ooh, I don't care right now. I am back from vacation, some vacay. It was mainly me visiting family. Testing, testing. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. So I was going for like 7 days. Yes. Hi, Walter. Hello, Mel. D. Anderson. Ron. I'm hot. I hope y'all don't hear the fan coming through the mic because I got the fan right on my face. I haven't heard from you since 2020 lockdown. Where you been, Sandra Cunning? Because I've been here all through the lockdown and after. Yes. AB Media. Hi. Hi, everybody. Belinda. Hi, guys. So, listen, please share this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Like the video, share the video. We're going to have a good show. And I'm not in a rush because I've been gone for 7 days. So, this is going to be an extended show. I usually do like an hour to 90 minutes. So, I may go over 2 hours because I'm going to open up the phone lines. Yes. So, towards the end of, well, probably after 90 minutes, I'm going to open up the phone lines and I want you guys to call in. So, today's topic, honey, yes, we got to talk about the Vivek Ramaswamy Cincinnati Townhall that went down this past Monday. It was productive. I'm going to show some clips. And Texas, honey, yes. So I asked a question. Texas redistricting war, is it erasing the black vote? Maybe to a certain degree, but I don't think so. But it damn sure is erasing a lot of Democrats' congressional representative seats. Yes. And that is that whole topic been trending since Monday. That is the main topic. Of course, I'm going to have P. Ray come on because all those Democrat representatives, politicians in Texas fled to the state of Illinois, i.e., Chicago and New York. So I'm having P. Ray come on to talk about the governor of Illinois harboring fugitives, congressional fugitives. Yes. FYI, little sidebar. I was told that I need to look more sexy when I do my shows and show some cleavage. I am. And I am. I'm going to take that person advice. But that will be in the beginning of September. Yeah. So, I guess that'll help with the views if I look more sexy and show some titties. All right. So let's get into it. Oh, I also want to mention that today is the 60th, or was it yesterday? Yesterday was the 60th. Yesterday or today? No, yesterday. August 5th, 1965, 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act being passed. Do we care? Yes, we should. All Americans should care. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. It's also another anniversary today, which has something to do with Cincinnati. Before I get into the Cincinnati topic, today or yesterday was the second anniversary of the Alabama Brawl. Yeah, remember that? So it's funny how the Alabama Brawl anniversary kind of happened around the same time the Cincinnati Brawl happened. So I want to share this clip here. And this is via Roland Martin. Shout out to Roland Martin, honey. Shout out to Roly Poly. All right. And he be on it with the t-shirts. So he did a video honoring the second anniversary of the Montgomery Riverfront Brawl. Let me show this first. Yeah. It says Happy Black American, August 5th, as the beatdowns proceed. Why are we glorifying violence? With the white chair here. I know that. But I want to play this clip to give people a refresher of what happened.
Black Avengers came to his rescue, and it was on. The brother smacked his white woman in the head with a chair, and all of a sudden, this symbol right here became legendary around Black America. Let's go back in time a couple of years, shall we? Roll it.
That guy in the white shirt is crew from our little dinner cruise boat who got off our ship to go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there and they left it there. So he's just pushing it off. That's funny. Took matters into his own hands. I love it. I hope the police give him a big old ticket. Ooh, confrontation with the owner of the boat. Those guys are all drunk.
And let me mute this up because this is he played, this is how it all started. The security guard trying to, I guess, disperse people to move from a certain area. And, some of the white people wasn't having it. And they tried the security guard, got and started fighting them. And then another black person came. It was mayhem. It was mayhem. And my thing is, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Let's see, we could fast forward to the actual. Yeah, so that's when it started. Oh, no, we ain't playing no damn commercials here.
Woo! He ran, he jumped in the water. Yeah. Get in that ass. Oh, look at the Brawl. The Brawl jumping their ass. Because y'all were wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. What y'all thought was going on? They put their ass in the water, y'all. Boo out! Boo out! Boo out! Boo! Turn their ass up. Baby, please. Ooh.
Ernie Barnes, a famous Sugar Shack.
Yeah, so that was that. So, listen, there's some country Bama ass in Alabama. I'm sorry, this the accent is strong. So, second anniversary of the Alabama Brawl. Now, listen, I'm not advocating violence. That is not a badge of honor. It's not. It's not a badge of honor, because now when we fast forward to today, you know, let's see here. People are honoring the white chair. And, you know, why are we carrying this as a badge of honor? Because because black people were beating up white people, you know, black and white fighting and black people getting the best of them, taking a white chair, hitting it on top of the head. That's not a badge of honor. And I don't know if you guys ever heard me say this, but I would say this now that, you know, a lot of things psychologically with black Americans stem from slavery. But at the same time, a lot of things psychologically, when it comes to white people from slavery, you know, they're dealing with today. So it's not just black people that are dealing with the residue and the effects of psychological um, deformities, for lack of a better word. White people have it too, because they still feel in a lot of ways superior, whether they realize it or not, whether they admit it or not. But it's never a good idea to promote violence. Now, let's get into the Cincinnati Brawl that happened July 29th for a couple last weekend. A white man instigated the whole thing by putting his hands on a black man. And then you got a FAFO, F around and find out. And here it is in the beginning, two men squaring off. But it was the white man that instigated the altercation. But who gets arrested? Black people, 3 black people so far. The white guy, we haven't heard anything about him getting arrested. There's a lot of outcry for him to be arrested. A white woman got plummeted. They ended up raising over $500,000 for her. You know, yes, she was a victim. Next time, stay out of fights when you see men fighting and women. But yes, she is a victim. And now we have this big old political fallout. Vivek Ramaswamy, who is running for governor of Ohio, the state that I am currently residing in, he held a town hall meeting in Cincinnati. But this was a press conference before that town hall meeting last week, where you had black advocates in Cincinnati, you know, calling out so-called white supremacists.
For those who want to politicize it, the J.D. Vances and the Vivek Ramaswames and the Bernie Marinos and the Christopher Smithermans and many others who want to politicize it, they have not yet said something that I always hear when a black person, say, runs from the police and then is met with disproportionate force, sometimes ending their life. What we hear is, well, why did they run? Why didn't they just comply? We hear that every time. But I've yet to hear anybody say, why didn't he just walk away? So let me back up so you understand this. 2 combatants, 1 black, 1 white. A black man steps in, breaks it up. The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away? And so when I see, and I don't know who else the chief is looking for or CPD is looking for, but when I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me. I don't see the person who re-engaged, slapped not the initial person, but slapped another black man. So I don't see the slapper's mugshot. And so sadly, I have to agree with those who are politicizing this and racializing this. I have to agree with the Smithermans, the Ramaswames, the Marinos, Corey Bowman. This is racial because it is unequal justice. And so until we see all the mugshots, this is still a racial issue. So let me say again to those in Cincinnati, it's Friday night, and we know people like to go out on Friday night. Here's what I would ask. because of what happened this past weekend. We don't want to see it happen again. Drink responsibly, take care of one another, and everybody get home safe. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor. I'm truly grateful for the outpouring from every sector of our city here today.
I give glory.
It's
to
my
the Most
audio?
High God,
Oh.
who made
Oh my God. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me now. Oh my God. I think I muted myself again. Oh my God, yo. First of all, Prashish, you do have my number to text me. I think I was talking and I muted myself. I'm just gonna stay unmuted. I don't know why I mute, but I'm just gonna stay unmuted. I'm so silly. Honey, it's funny. You know what? It's funny that you take a week off of YouTube. I take a week off of YouTube. I come back, I'm rusty. It's hell. Rusty, rusty, rusty. All right. So I want to play this clip. I want to play this clip of Vivek Ramaswamy Townhall, right? And the black man response that I felt was very profound, very profound. And I wanted to highlight it.
Sure, I can actually get to him easier than...
I give glory to the Most High God, who made the heavens and the earth. Amen. That his chosen people, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I speak. Now, you guys act like this is a new thing. This thing is not new, what you saw. I'm not on either side. I'm on the Most High side. But you have to understand how our people feel. Because we were brought here in slave ships over 400 years ago. And we were treated like animals, like cattle, hung on trees, family separated, our heritage taken from us, that we didn't know who we were as a people. Now I say you act like this is a new thing. This violence that you see out here. Well, look over the 400 years of all the violence that was perpetrated on our people. Over over the 400 years, look what you did to our people. But yet, you know, it's not over with. No, it's not over with. That's the thing. Okay. You want to sweep our history under the table, but you don't sweep the Ashkenazi Jews with the Hitler thing under the table. All the things that you did to the other races of people, you don't sweep that under the table. But when it comes down to the black Negroes, we can always sweep what happened to us under the table. So I'm telling you right now, the Most High is looking at all of this. That's why, according to Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, chapter 29, and chapter 30, for all you ministers, you need to read it, because we're living in Revelation times. And it tells you what was done to my people are going to happen to you.
Robert, I
So I want to pause it right there real quick because, and I want to, just say this. He was right. A lot of people don't want to hear the talking points of a black person going back to slavery and connecting that to today's time. But it's very valid. You should not forget. And black people should not make other people comfortable by not talking about it. It could be very uncomfortable conversation to talk about race, racism, slavery, but it needs to be had. A lot of people need to be educated. Jewish people, the Jews, no, they don't never let you forget. They don't. And why should they? But the same respect that society have for them, when they acknowledge and talk about and push and promote and claim their suffering, there's no pushback. But when Black America does the same, there's a whole bunch of pushback, sweeping under the rug. Let's just all get along. We should all love each other. That was a long time ago. But the residue, economically, socially, psychologically, white and Black people are still dealing with the effects of slavery, of Jim Crow, of segregation, of the crime bill, and so forth, redlining, redistricting.
Look, I want to thank you for one thing out the gate, is that I said this at the start. I don't think anybody think I planted Robert's question. We didn't plant the questions tonight. We are promised an open and candid conversation. Sometimes that makes us uncomfortable. I felt a little uncomfortable as you asked that question, but that's what you should expect of your leaders, to be able to engage with you. So let me say a couple words. First, about the pride of this city. Christopher, you mentioned it at the outset. Cincinnati was the end of the Underground Railroad. Have we been perfect for all of our national history? Of course we're not perfect. In fact, we're destined to never be perfect, because we're not a nation comprised of gods. We're a nation comprised of human beings. And we're a nation founded on a set of ideals. So that means you will always be imperfect, because nobody ever criticizes China or Iran or whatever for hypocrisy. Because to be a hypocritical nation, you had to have ideals in the first place. So here's what I'll tell you, Robert. And am I going to say America was perfect for every chapter of our national history? Of course not. We're a nation founded on ideals. We're a nation founded on human beings who will always fall short of those ideals. But I would rather live in a country that has ideals and falls short of them than to live in a country with no ideals at all. And I'll give you a chance to respond in a moment. Do I think we should sweep the parts of our history that make us uncomfortable under the rug? No. Just as I don't think we should sweep last week's history under the rug. No. We have to confront what is true, not just when it makes us uncomfortable, but precisely when it does not. But the question is how we move forward. Because the only part that lands with me a little bit differently is when you say our people. When I hear that, I'm thinking about our people as everybody in this room. I see black, white, brown, man, woman. These are our people. America is our people. Ohio is our people. Cincinnati is our people. And I believe it is the God-given right of every person to be able to live a life free of violence, to be able to speak their mind in the open without fear of retaliation. And may I even say, if you're a hard-working American, to go into your city, whether you're black or white, without fear of actually being assaulted or battered, that ought to be the birthright of every American. That's what I want for our people, Robert. And I appreciate you asking that question. Let me just give a few other people a chance, and we'll come back to you if we... Here, why don't you give me... We'll be very brief, and then I want to give some other people a chance.
This is short. Let me say this. It tells you in the scriptures that the people who put us in captivity was going to have a perpetual hatred against us. It says in the scriptures that they would not pity the young or the old. Who do I listen to? I listen to the Most High. I don't listen to man. Because man is not who saved me. So it tells you in the scriptures a perpetual hatred. And that's what I see every day. You can go on YouTube all around the nation, and what do you see? Our people getting crucified. But nobody steps up and say anything about it. But when something happens like this, it's a big uproar. Well, to my understanding, the gentleman was the one who cast the first stone. And I think you have a stand your ground law here in Ohio saying that you can defend yourself even with a weapon. And anybody with you can defend also. I'm done.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. All I will say is, on the matter of history, right? We're leaving the facts of last week. I kept a promise. I'm going to make it. We're going to leave that to the court system to adjudicate. We all saw what we saw on the internet. But what I will say to you is, we had a first question about the Christian backdrop of support. The next question of quoting scripture. I will say that the ultimate grace over a long period of time lies in our ability to forgive and to move on as well, firmly. And I think that's what it's going to take to bring our country and our people together. Christopher, you want to say a word as we...
So here's the thing. I will say this. Black people have forgiven. But he said to forgive and move on. No, it is to forgive but never forget. Listen, the world is going to move on. Every time you wake up, it's a new day. Time is moving on. So that's just a given. But forgive and never forget. That is the philosophy of the Japanese. That is the philosophy of Muslims, of Jews throughout the world. And Black Americans are just saying that's our philosophy. Forgive, but never forget. Because if you forget, history is just going to repeat itself, especially after you've forgiven that person. Especially when we're talking about public policies and these politicians. So some of what he was saying was genuine, but most of it was that politician talking points, right? But it's interesting what this next man, and I didn't get his name or who he was. I don't know, he's probably a councilman, maybe he's a local minister in Cincinnati. But let me just say this about the Black community in Cincinnati. They're strong. They're a different type of breed in Cincinnati. But I want to finish playing this clip here.
We get over here to the next question. We'll come to you, sir, right after Christopher.
I just want to respond to Robert, who's a friend. To share with you that African Americans have always had a very high standard. African Americans in our country have always had a very high standard. Our people, even in poverty, operated at the highest level of dignity. An example would be the Tuskegee Airmen. And so what I want to share with all of you is what happened 10 or 12 days ago was not our best moment. It was not. We cannot operate eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. It is not how we operate. Punching people in the face and knocking Holly out, Holly did not deserve what happened to her. Those men operating with the WWE and jumping off on them and slamming their bodies into them was not our best moment. It wasn't our best moment as Americans. It wasn't our best moment as a people. We must own that. And so I just want to say to my friend Robert that this country has never been perfect for our people. I acknowledge the pain. This is why we chose this location here by the Ohio River, where our people came over that river for freedom. And let me share with you, brother, white abolitionists all up and down 50 took care of us and made sure that we had freedom with great sacrifice. My point to you is this: in this moment, I want to give a voice, paying it forward, for those white abolitionists who took care of us. It's now for us in this moment to be able to look at humanity and say what happened in downtown Cincinnati was wrong. And we don't want to accept it. We don't want to make an excuse for it. We don't want to find a way to say somebody did something to me that caused me to hurt people the way they did. Violence is never the answer. Thank you.
All right. So, honey, the thing is with that, I'm trying to share this other screen because I have more clips. So the guy made some valid points. He brought up the abolitionists, the white abolitionists, because there were black ones too. The problem with that is we don't have enough white abolitionists today. I agree with him, but I want to see that same energy from white people taking on the white abolitionist mentality. Because yes, if it was not for the white abolitionists, Harriet Tubman would not have been successful. All of the other runaway slaves would not have been successful. Black people in Cincinnati would not have been able to build a community there if it was not for the white abolitionists. But where are they at today? Where are those white people at today? There's some, and I'm talking about the mentality of it, of being an abolitionist. So if you're down for me, if you understand, if you fighting for rights for all Americans, then you have to acknowledge my historical suffering. Acknowledge it. It's never going to be yours, but acknowledge it and respect it, and then make sure that it doesn't happen again, and always seek justice.
My name is Guy Harper, and I do not agree with this man's sentiments whatsoever. I'm also not an African American. I'm a black American. Elon Musk is an African American, and he's white. The Democratic Party were the primary slave owners. They were the KKK. They were Jim Crow. Blacks vote in essence for the party that enslaved their ancestors. How did this happen? Lyndon B. Johnson, who was Kennedy's vice president, said, and I'm quoting, "I'll have niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And we're only 60 years in. The problem with their cities, you can hire all the police officers you want. It's a systemic problem. It's a spiritual problem. There are 75% of black babies are born out of wedlock. There are no fathers in the home. There's no discipline. You can hire all the police officers you want. It's not going to change anything. It's a systemic problem. It's a spiritual problem. The Democratic Party, they're Marxists and communists. They want to destabilize the United States of America. Go to any Democratic-run city in America, Detroit, LA, New York, Philadelphia, you will see the same thing. The same thing wherever you go in America, in a Democratic-run city. It's a systemic problem. So, more police, and the Republican Party has to unveil the schemes of the Democratic Party. The Republican Party is weak in doing that. We have to unveil the schemes of what the Democratic Party is doing. That's how you get change. That's how President Trump got 25% of black male vote in this election. The so-called racist. Because people are waking up to the schemes of the Democratic Party. And as long as you have fatherlessness, women having children out of wedlock, this crime stuff will continue. It's not the police on the streets, it's in the homes where it starts, people.
That's courage, man. How about this? We got a conversation going. So, I will tell you, there's a root cause problem. You hit the heart of it. And you know who's to blame for this? It's not black, it's not white, it's the government. Started with Lyndon B. Johnson. You're right. The Great Society, the greatest misnomer made for the history of mankind in American policy, was actually what caused a new generation of kind of slavery, suckling at the teat of the government, paying a single mother more money not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house, to be married to Uncle Sam instead of to be married to the man who's sitting right there in her house. And that's created a new culture of dependence, a new culture of substituting virtue in the household. So I got to say, man, that was brave of you to speak from the heart. The truth is, I don't care about whether you call it the Democrat Party or what you want to call it. Now what I want to call upon is for our side. What I think of in this election. I'm running as a Republican in the election, that's fine, but the other side has lost their way. Now it's up to us to level up, to man up, and actually say, what do we actually stand for? See, the other side might give us their own version of poison. We're going to stand for truth. We're done obsessing with the failures of the other side. We won in November of last year. Now it's up to us and say, what do we stand for? We stand for the fact that the nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to the history of mankind. We stand for the truth that the U.S. Constitution is the greatest form.
All right. So here's the thing, though, with that. You're bringing up Lyndon B. Johnson. And again, today is the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act being signed into law. And I am going to do a clip on that because Lyndon B. Johnson had a open door policy to black leaders, black civil rights leaders. You know, Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph. He passed a lot of public policies that benefited Black Americans and, of course, ended up benefiting everyone in America. The black guy in this clip, which I appreciate, and he had on his MAGA hat. Number one, he said he is not African American, he's Black American. Salute to him because I 1000% agree with that. I am not African American, I am Black American, and it is a difference. And he also touched on systemic. This is a systemic problem. And it is. See, Vivek, when you give a politician an out and you bring up, it starts in a home, like the black guy said, yeah, it starts in a home. It's true. But when we're talking about politics and Vivek is running for governor, we're talking about a system. So it is a systemic problem. Everything starts in the home. But when you walk outside that door, public policies are going to dictate how you live your life. And the purpose of engaging in politics in a community is to make sure that you, as an American citizen, are helping to create public policies on a local level that's going to benefit you, your family, and your community. Because that's going to dictate where you work, where you live, your education level, health, all that. So it is a systemic problem. He's talking about Lyndon B. Johnson paid more money to a black woman than invested in a nuclear family. I don't really think so. See, those are just soundbite talking points. Because if you look at the family percentage during the civil rights movement under Lyndon B. Johnson administration, it was very high in the black community. So again, don't give a politician a way out to deflect from what's important to talk about. And that is the systemic effect that keeps disenfranchising poor people and Black Americans. Couple more clips on the town hall. I think I have one more. I have one more clip. And I think it's this one.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all.
I'm not playing no damn commercial. Let me see.
Hello, my name is Rosemary Oglesby Henry. I am the CEO and founder of a local nonprofit, Rosemary's Babies Company, that provides support for teen parents and families in Greater Cincinnati. This week, over the last couple of weeks, while we were dealing with so much violence in Greater Cincinnati, one of my young parents' children was run over by a car. 3 children under the age of 5. One of those children won't be able to walk. Then, in my program, I decided to talk to our young parents, and I asked those young parents, how many of them have a friend or know somebody that was a teen that was shot and killed? Every one of those parents said yes. In fact, my own son, that I never exposed to any violence because I believed in the American dream and I tried to pull them up out of there, this year has seen more than a dozen of his friends within that same victim system. And so what it led me to ask, especially when this young father, he's 16 and he's so bright and he's so fun. And when I asked all my teens, did they have a gun? Several of them did. And when I asked them why, they said that they did not feel protected. And I have a problem with that because you come from a area and we have the police. But what I'm trying to figure out is why do they feel that they need to protect themselves because they get a threat on Facebook? And the automatic is where I used to fight. I grew up in Avenue, y'all. Now, when somebody threatens them, they're fearful that they're going to take their lives. And so my question for the kids that I talk to within my organization, that I not only preach to protect your children and protect your person and protect your babies, but I also teach about causes and consequences. So if you do pull that gun to protect yourself, you might end up doing life and you lose the chance to see your baby grow up and they end up in the same cycle as you. So we need to do more of that. But my question is also this: how do we retrain families, the media, government, and even our leaders to start speaking positive life instead of fueling violence and fueling hate so that these kids feel the need to protect themselves and go get a gun? That's my problem.
Thank you for sharing that heartrending account of what one family's kids being run over by a car. When you roll that log over now, you see what crawls out. What crawls out of that isn't pretty. And so what's really going on in the country, and I don't want to move us too far past just what's in front of us here in Cincinnati, but what we see in Cincinnati is a microcosm of a deeper problem that you put your finger on, is that we are going through a kind of identity crisis. Right? We've lost our way. It's a spiritual crisis. It's a crisis of meaning. Or, what's our country? You look at your iPhone, do what it tells you to do on a given day, live your life going through the motions, programmed by the algorithms that actually cause our brain to rot and stop us from being able to think independently, commit acts of violence, live in a culture of fear, a mental health epidemic that's raging like wildfire with addiction, fentanyl usage, opioid addiction on the rise. Yeah, there's a deep epidemic. It's a cultural epidemic of fear, of a mental health epidemic, of a loss of spiritual purpose and meaning that we got to bring back. And everything else we're talking about, I believe with you, is a symptom of that deeper void. And to our friends on the left, I will say, for a while they had a prescription for what fills that. It's a kind of victimhood culture. Race, gender, sexuality, climate. Maybe it's not my fault, it's not my responsibility, it's what somebody else did to me, and then what is somebody else going to do to fix it? To your question, there's a different answer to that question. It isn't what you expect somebody else to do, it's what we expect all of us to do. Not just some elected official in this deeper sense for our culture. We've got to fill that spiritual void, that moral void with the real thing. Individual, family, nation, and God beats race, gender, sexuality, and climate if we have the courage to stand for what's right, for what's true, to bring back the self-confidence in our young people, to get the cell phones out of the classroom, to be able to actually, at a young age, I mean, some people might say this is unrelated, what's he talking about? Make sure kids show up to school. Say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning with a moment of silence to be able to go along with it, to ground ourselves in our actual sense of purpose and identity and who we are, to restore the family unit as the ultimate place of accountability, the best form of governance, better than any form of government known to the history of man. That's what we ultimately are going to have to do to get to the root cause of all of this. I think a revival of faith, or at least belief in something higher in our country, is a good thing that we shouldn't hide from. Fills that spiritual vacuum. But in the meantime, that's going to be a long project, and we're not giving up on it just because it's a long project. But it's like what I said to the woman's question earlier, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We're going to work on that for the long run, while scoring the easy wins that are sitting in front of our eyes for the short run either. That can't be a substitute for saying that we're going to put more cops on the street, for a substitute for saying we're actually going to empower them to be able to do their jobs, a substitute for judicial system reform that allows violent criminals to actually remain in prison rather than being released. So it's not either or, it's not one of these or the other. There's a deeper moral, spiritual crisis of purpose and meaning. We're going to have to fill that through true leadership, not the fake stuff that just tells people what they're looking to hear. We're not victims, we're victors, right? That's who we are at our core. But that's part of what we're going to have as a cultural reawakening in our country, starting with our state. We're going to work on that in parallel with fixing the common sense reforms that are actually going to at least prevent those preventable crimes from happening right here in Cincinnati. We're talking about, I believe.
All right. So again, you give a politician, you open up that door, you allow them to have all these different sound bites, because it's not about a spiritual crisis. It's not about religion, your spirituality. It's not. That is not going to help lower crime. And that is the problem of the Republican Party. Now, they're doing a good job when it comes to, redistricting out in Texas to remove a lot of Democrat congressional seats. But overall, the problem with the Republican Party, you want to focus so much on religion. And remember, our country is based on separation of church and state. This is not a spiritual crisis. Your job as a politician, it is not to make sure that my spirit is aligned like yours or anybody else's. Your job, and these are the solutions, your job is to make sure that your state, your city, your country economy is growing. That where you live at, where you're governing in the state of Ohio, employment is increasing, especially in poor areas that need jobs. Education. We need to reinvest in our children's education in the classroom and after school. Extracurricular activities, high school trades, and all that other stuff. Crime, police, feeling safe where you live at. Those are the solutions. And the black woman that stood up, listen, she has a nonprofit organization. She was talking about tangibles. And so here's the thing, and the state of Ohio is going to be in the news a lot. And actually, I'm about to expose the Cleveland Clinic. I'm about to do a video on the Cleveland Clinic and expose them. But here's the thing. Whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, it does not matter. If you have a Republican governor as a registered Democrat, I'm just saying, if you are a registered Democrat and you have a Republican governor, it is still your duty to go and talk to that governor and tell that governor, this is what we need in our community. No matter who's in office, no matter who's in City Hall, on the city council, governor, president, it is your job as a citizen to come as a collective to talk about the needs, your needs, resources, and tangibles. The Democrats try to, they have convinced Black Americans, don't deal with them. Well, you have to deal with the person who's in charge. And if you don't have a dialogue, if you're not coming with an agenda, then you're never going to get anything done. You're never going to get any type of results. So miss me with all this spiritual crisis bullshit. Let's talk about the tangibles that woman got up and spoke about, that Black man got up and spoke about when he said this is a systemic problem. And it is. Make Vivek, make Trump, make these Democrats and Republicans uncomfortable and hold them accountable to doing their job. Guys, please hit the like button. Please share this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Please support. Please support the platform. Super Chat, Cash App. Thank you, Walter. He sent a Cash App. Thank you so much, Walter. Appreciate you. D. Brown, I was born there, Dana, Cleveland Clinic. Well, honey, I'm about to expose them. Yeah, because they're corrupt. They're corrupt with their billing practices. And I'm going to do a pre-recorded video and premiere it this weekend because they overcharged me. Yeah, I'm about to expose the Cleveland Clinic. As prestige as it is, when we talk about our healthcare system, that's what I'm saying. I don't give a damn if you're the Democrat or Republican. I need some answers when it comes to this healthcare, especially in the state that I'm living in. Now, P-Ray is coming up soon, but before she do, I want to play this. What is wrong with Jasmine Crockett?
Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes. He is. But in a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this. But he's been able to get away with this because the House Republicans are complicit. He's been able to get away with this because Senate Republicans are complicit. But most importantly, the courts, especially the Supreme Court, is complicit. And so I think one of the places that we have to start is we are absolutely, they are the highest court in the lands, and they have no ethics guardrails. Now you go down to the lower courts and they do. How much sense does that make? When we know that they're taking money, we have the paper trail, and they refuse to put guardrails on themselves, so it's time for us to do it for them.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with her? See, this is why she is about to be out of a job. She is. She's about to be out of a job. So, before I get into this redistricting thing here, right? Texas. Is Texas redistricting war erasing Black votes? Are they? So, Texas by the numbers, right? The population growth, the democratic shift since 2010 census, Texas gained 2 new congressional seats, but how were they allocated? First of all, the Democrats are known to gerrymander. They gerrymander all the time. They've been doing it for decades. They've been doing it for decades. So you have Al Green, you have Jasmine Crockett, and you have a few other representatives, congressional representatives in Texas, right? That their seats is about to be erased. So Texas House Republicans unveiled new congressional map that looks to pick up 5 GOP seats. So Republicans, you're finally getting a backbone and saying, you know what? We're going to take a page out of your Democrat book and we're going to do some redistricting in Texas. Yeah. And this is what the new map is going to look like, right? That is what's going to look like. And the Texas redistricting battles started since the 1960s. In 2023, Shelby County decision, Supreme Court ruling that changed the whole game. Congressional law professor on a legal landscape. I'm on to August sleep, talking in his sleep. So GOP Texas lawmakers released their first draft of the state's new congressional map Wednesday, proposing revamped district lines that attempt to flip 5 Democratic seats in next year's midterm elections. See, a lot of people are focused on the presidential election, but what's most important is the midterm elections. See, the new map targets Democrat U.S. House representatives in Dallas, Austin, Houston, metro areas, and in South Texas. So the draft unveiled by State Rep Todd Hunter, Republican of Corpus Christi, will likely change before the final map is approved by both chambers and signed by Greg Abbott, the governor. So this whole Texas Democrats blocking the redistricting walkout. But I want to explain. I want to play this video to explain exactly what is going on. Let me make this bigger here. Yeah.
You guys want to know the real reason why the Democrats are making such a big deal about the redistricting of Texas? It's because Jasmine Crockett could lose her seat completely. Al Green could lose his seat completely. 2 other Democrats are going to have to compete against each other to win their seat, and only one gets to move forward. And a 5th Democrat will have to win their seat against a Republican in what will become a Republican district. So long story short, they don't want to lose 4 to 5 of their Democratic colleagues. But what they didn't tell you is that the Democrats have already done this with 8 different states, causing a total of 6 Republicans to lose their seats, while the Democrats gained 5. And that's all just over the last 10 years. But that's besides the point. How did the Democrats decide that they're not going to let Texas redistrict their map? They all fled the state. They all said if we're not here to vote on it, then it can't happen. And that shit's illegal, so they've been ordered to come back or get arrested. But regardless of all that bullshit and drama, I don't know about you, but I could definitely live the rest of my life with a smile on my face if I never have to hear Jasmine Crockett's voice ever again.
Oh, I was muted. Jasmine Crockett is about to be out of a job.
District will change if these maps do pass.
Yeah, so my district, what they did is they did a thing that we call, they packed my district up and then they cracked minorities from another community. And so what they did is they've increased the number of African Americans in my district. But while they were cracking out persons from another community and packing them into my community. They also removed all the economic engines, which is yet another red flag. This means that I don't have Southwest Airlines or JSX Airlines or Dallas Love Airport or Downtown or AT&T or Goldman Sachs, and the list goes on of amazing companies and corporations that I'm typically bringing in to make sure that we can talk about economic opportunities for the people that live in my district, including getting rid of the medical center in my district as well.
In response to this plan, we've seen Democrats in states like New York and California say that they would look into redistricting as well. Would you encourage them to do that?
I absolutely do. We are in a fight for the soul of this country.
So Miss Stain here, see, those companies are not going anywhere. She is. Because the redistricting is going to make her district smaller and make it more Republican. So that Republican representative is going to inherit all of those wonderful companies she just named. And she is going to be out of a job. See, she was sitting on these congressional meetings talking tough shit as if she was Miss Untouchable. But then the Republicans, the light bulb went off and they figured out a way to get rid of her, to get rid of Al Green, to get rid of these so-called fake ass black political figures. Now, people are saying, it's going to erase or weaken the black vote. And it doesn't have to, because if there's less Democrat districts and you feel as though you're going to have less of a voice, well, how about black people in Texas go to the Republican Party? That's the solution. Go and register as a Republican. Because if the Republicans are going to be the majority in that state, you want your voice to be heard. If your district is going to then turn from blue to red, then why don't you flip from blue to red so that you can sit up here and have more of the power play? Well, at least equal to other groups of people. So your vote will not weaken, but to make it stronger, flip to being a Republican, right? And I see P. Ray. I'm about to bring P. Ray in. Give me a sec. Hey, how are you?
Good, Miss Dana. How you doing?
Good. It's been
Look what I got.
I know.
I won't be getting cussed out in the back. Look, y'all, Dana be really like, whoa, girl. Joe Jacksoning me in the background.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a lot been going on. I was on vacation, so I've been off for like a week. I wanted to bring you on because to talk about this, the Texas Democrats, right? They're they're in some hot water because on August the 3rd, 50 Texas House Democrats left the state to break quorum and prevent a vote on the Republican redistricting plan aimed at redrawing congressional districts. The group encountered a bomb threat at their hotel in Illinois on August 6, leading to evacuation, though no injuries occurred and proceedings remain stalled. Legal and political responses include efforts to address the redistricting proposal amid ongoing tensions. Now, some of them fled to New York. The rest of them fled to Illinois, i.e. Chicago. And that's why I wanted you to come on, to talk about what is going on with this.
Why these people here bothering us? So we got to realize that these people came here last week and they said that they were talking to J.B. Pritzker about gerrymandering and, weird stuff. Because we were thinking, why is JB down in Texas talking to the Texas Democrats? Well, they were passing out maps on how to get to the city of Chicago, but they're like outside of Chicago. What's really interesting about this, Miss Dana, is that Chicago and Illinois have been gerrymandered as well by the Democrats in a way that does not even make any sense. I mean, you got people who are on the south side of Chicago who have the same state rep as people who live on farmland in the middle of the state because of how they've cut up the state. They are playing. All of this is supposed to pull on our emotions. Now, Illinois is a sanctuary state for illegals. It's a sanctuary state for Democrats who don't want to work their jobs. But it's not helping the people of Illinois in any way. And that's what we are fighting against, how they got all this time and energy to help everybody but us.
So here's the thing, though, because apparently they chose Illinois, i.e. Chicago, and New York because they cannot legally be subpoenaed if they fled to those two states. So that is why they went to Illinois and New York. Now, if they come back to Texas, the more they delay, the more they're going to get in trouble. I think some of them even have a warrant out for their arrest. But I want to ask you, do you think with this redistricting will erase the black vote?
No, I don't think so at all. I think that it's going to erase the Democrat vote because, again, they're the ones who created these maps. Now, we also have to remember that the majority of our people, the Negro, we are Democrats. So instead of them making this a political conversation, they're going to try to emotionally enhance it and make it a racial conversation, which is why people like me and you are super important in this fight because we're not going to allow them to exploit our racial trauma like this anymore to advance the Democrat Party. They don't like us, America, in the world. The Democrat Party hates the Negro. They are the most Negro-phobic political party in the history of the United States of America. I don't understand why they want to play like this. But no, black people aren't going to lose anything. The Democrats are, because they're not going to take away their right to vote.
Right. And I just said that, hey, maybe that black people just need to switch and become Republicans so that you can have more of a voice in the Republican Party if the Republican Party is going to be dominant.
Or the Democrats need to get out and organize in these new districts. I mean, they wrote these districts so that they wouldn't have to work hard. Here in the state of Illinois, we don't have any, Republicans up here in the Northern District where I am, none in Chicago, none in Cook County. You mean to tell me all 11 million people or 7 million people in Cook County want to be Democrats? No, but that's how they drew it. So now everybody has to get to work. My Donnie is making everybody work, even the politicians, because people have been playing for too long.
Yeah, and with these redistricting lines being redrawn out, you got Al Green, you have Jasmine Crockett, and it's another black representative. They're going to be battling each other just for that 1 or 2 seats now, right? So
tough titty. I'm fighting. So I'm running for Congress, P-Ray for Congress, and I am running against the man who lives on my block. He is who the congressman endorsed last week. And I went to their endorsement party as a member of the block club and I clapped for him. So, hey, sometimes you got to go against the people that you like and love. But at the end of the day, if they are serious about being upset, get to work. What y'all getting mad for? Why are y'all up here in Cook County instead of down there in Texas doing the job that you were elected to do? You are the representative for your area. So you're supposed to be there representing all the people who got up, put their shoes on, and voted for you to speak on their behalf. But they chose to ignore and literally disenfranchise all of those people in order to push a political point for a party that does not care about us. They don't like us, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm in Chicago. They don't like us. Look at the data. But these black state reps and senators in Texas would rather disenfranchise their own people than go against the Democratic Party. Sound like a slave to me, Miss Dana.
Yeah. And so they're just trying to so-called take a stand as if they're doing, something righteous, and they're not.
No.
I want to play this clip here because who is this state representative Jolanda Jones, honey? Very sassy.
For Representative Plessa and your colleagues from Texas, what is your response to Governor Abbott, accusing you all of, possibly committing a felony by being here and not returning to Austin by this afternoon? Is it safe to say you have no immediate plans and plan to stay here indefinitely?
Have you ever heard the saying Texas says, come and get it, come and take it? That's what we're saying. Look, Governor is very good at manipulating the truth, right? And what he's saying is not completely accurate. He knows that we're using a tool that was given to us by the founders of the Texas Constitution. He knows what the rules are. And he's trying to manipulate the situation to make it play in his favor. It's not going to work. The people of Texas know, they've seen this playbook before, and they want fair maps. I told you, we had 9 hearings on redistricting. We had hundreds of Texans show up against these maps. It was a handful of people that testified in favor of these maps. I'm talking about 500 people that showed up on Friday. Texas Republicans didn't give them an access to have their voice heard. They limited debate in those hearings. So what I say to the governor is, you need to have better policies. You're not gonna just eliminate 20.
So let me be clear. I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit, okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York, so he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors, and I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I will also say this. I was on the redistricting committee. I sat in on the meetings. We had 3 sham hearings with no maps, where people were forced to testify that they were neutral on the maps because of our processes, when actually, I would say about 99.9% of the people were against it. So they set it up. So when the litigation happens, because it's going to happen, trust and believe, right? That there will be testimony saying that everybody was neutral on it, which is, excuse my French, a damn lie. Then, when they got the map on Wednesday, and let me be clear, it was the worst kept secret in Texas. I was on the redistricting committee, and I was wondering in January, why am I on the redistricting committee? I mean, it ain't a redistricting year. And we didn't meet once. Right? But this was always the backup plan. Always. I sat in on the hearings. It was a joke. The chair of the redistricting committee, Cody Vasut, is a lawyer. In the legislature, he is the expert on points of order. He knows the law. Cody pays attention to detail. During the redistricting committee meetings, well, I hadn't looked at anything. I don't know. I ain't seen no maps. Yeah. Whatever you say. So you pin on me and you telling me it's raining and you expect me to believe it. Wrong answer. When they finally had the one public hearing with the map, and the secret was out. The stuff is gonna get filed on Wednesday and we're gonna have a marathon hearing on Friday, is what they said. The plan was filed on Wednesday and they had a 10-hour meeting on Friday. And the thing that was the most offensive to me as a person who went to these and asked questions about these, and let me be clear, the districts that are targeted overwhelmingly are Black districts, okay? They are pitting Jasmine Crockett against Mark Vesey, and they are pitting Al Green against CD18, where there's a Black representative. If you don't know who sat in CD18, I live in CD18, by the way, Barbara Jordan, Mickey Leland, Craig Washington, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Sylvester Turner. So those are the people they're trying to take out. So I'm real upset about it, and my constituents are real upset about it. But it's really interesting that the map person who says that some law firm drafted the maps and he don't know that much about the maps, I felt like I was in a bad edition of an episode of White Man's Burden. For the most part, he told us, grown people speaking to us as if we were kids, said to us, you need to be happy. We didn't have to give you any hearings in the first place, and we know what's best for you. Well, I respectfully submit that they don't know what's best for us. They do not know what's best for us. And let me also be clear. My constituents demanded that I be here. So you think I'm gonna listen to Donald Trump and Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick and the Attorney General who can't treat his wife right and who lies on documentation? So I think he needs to worry about going to jail. But my point is this: we, the Democratic contingent, we are paying attention to what our constituents are demanding of us. They've literally told us, if you don't quorum break, we will primary you. That's how important it is. People wonder, why should New York be concerned about what's going on in Texas? Why should anywhere be concerned with what's going on in Texas? I'm gonna tell you why. My grandmother says this: if you allow yourself to be a rug, people will step on you. No one was paying attention to North Carolina in 2024. There were 7 Republican congresspeople, there were 7 Democratic congresspeople. Guess what? The Republicans rigged the game in North Carolina, and they took 3 seats. I'm gonna say this one more again, that's Ebonics for those of y'all who don't speak it. They took 3 seats. Congress has a 3 Republican majority. Ding, 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 ding. So we weren't paying attention to what was going on in North Carolina, and look what we have. We got that big, ugly, terrible bill shoved down our throats. So guess what? I was paying attention. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Texas will not be North Carolina. We will not give him what we need. And we're marching, we ain't fleeing, we're fighting, and we are so incredibly thankful that the governor has hosted us, because we need allies.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm like, who is, can you hear me?
I hear you.
She said, that's Ebonics. And I'm like, girl, what? And see, I'm like, is this a Jasmine Crockett 2.0? Like, when are you going to learn? When are these Black representatives going to learn? You want to comment on any of that, what she said?
Well, first things first, I'm going to try to do it like she just did it, with all the attitude and the sass and the neck rolling. Psych, we're not doing that. That is a U.S. Congress person. Do you all understand that she's a part of the United States government of the United States of America, the greatest country in the world? At the end of the day, they're not at work. The people of Texas did not elect them to be up here in Chicago eating Italian beefs right now, okay? By the way, if you ever come to Chicago, try the Italian beef sandwich dipped with hot peppers. It's delicious. However, that's what they're doing up here right now. That's what they're doing. They're playing, because if the Republicans were fighting against them to rig the map and she was on the committee, why didn't she say, wait a minute, we haven't had any committees, or wait a minute, I'm on the committee, where are the maps? Point of order, I want to table this meeting until we get the maps. She didn't do her job, and they didn't want to do their jobs, because their goal was to put on this show in the in the name of patriotism and fighting back and being bad Democrats. See, Miss Dana, they take this as gangbanging. And that's one thing that I hate about this political stuff. We're not here to gangbang, okay? If you want to gangbang, call P. Ray. I will tell you how to gangbang. We are here to conduct business on the behalf of the people that we represent and be their representative to the government. That is it. So guess what? Now, none of them are at work. So I don't know how the Texas state constitution works, but if they have abandoned their jobs, then maybe Greg Abbott got to find somebody to sit in, since they ran off and she can't be subpoenaed in Chicago. You can't stay up here in Chicago all this time because, baby, you got a social security number. People with social security numbers in Chicago got to pay. So you got to pay to stay up here. You're going to need to eat. You're going to need to sleep. You're going to need to wash yourself up. How are you going to continue to pay your bills if you've abandoned your job and come up here to hang with us in Chicago? They're going to go back, and Greg Abbott is going to deal with them, and they're going to try to make it a Black thing. And I'm saying right now to Black America, Negroes, this ain't none of our business. That's Ebonics.
Well, the taxpayers of Chicago are going to pay for their lodging and their food and their office, Yeah, the longer they stay up there. And that is and so the mayor, listen, Chicago turns up. So I don't think that headache. All right. And do you have a website yet? Because I know you just announced that you're running for Congress.
Yes, ma'am. And no, I don't have the website yet. It is coming this weekend. We have our petitions and boots on the ground. You know, a lot of people look at the past, the results of this district and say, oh, P. Ray, she can't win. They've never had a formidable Republican candidate, and they never had a P. Ray. We are outside. We're telling people, y'all know we done with these Democrats, right? And they say, yep, you right, girl. Let me sign that petition. How can I help you? I got some stamps. If you have an event, I give you some stamp money so you can cook. Like everybody is like on board with this. We're tired of the Democratic Party up here. We've been screaming it to the whole country for the past couple of years. The guy who, his name is LaShawn Ford, he was endorsed by the congressman. He was a former state rep. So we're going to assume that he is going to be my opponent if I get through the primary. And we're just going to make him run on his record. He's the one who voted for every tax increase that we're suffering from here in the state of Illinois. He voted for so that little girls could go get abortions behind their mother's backs for free. But if those little girls get sick, then their moms are going to have to pay those medical bills. He voted to keep us a sanctuary city, sanctuary state, magnetizing our entire state for illegal immigration. Dana, do you know that they found an illegal with a grenade on the Chicago bus a couple weeks ago? A grenade. This is not a joke. This is not a game, y'all. I am throwing my hat in the race so that we can save the 7th Congressional District, because all roads in America lead to the 7th Congressional District, which is on the west side of Chicago and the western suburbs. And we don't deserve to be terrorized by the third world like this with the help of the Democratic Party using our tax dollars.
Thank you, P. Ray. Always appreciate you coming on. When you get that website, send it over to me so I can promote it. And of course, you're always welcome. And I'm definitely going to have you back next Wednesday. So if you have your website up by then, we can officially announce launch. Yeah, you're running.
Well, you can always donate to chicagored.org. Because I'm going to talk to the board to see how we're going to fund the campaign. So that's live and popping, chicagored.org.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to put the link to that in the description and in the chat as well, in the comment section below. So thank you, P. Ray.
Thank you, Dana. See y'all.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm about to open up I'm about to open up phone lines. Call in, because I need to test the phone lines. And while you guys are calling in, I want to share this thing here. Gotta talk about the migrant crisis, because technically Wednesdays, when I do my Wednesday show, it is supposed to be based around the migrant crisis that's going on. It's just that I've been gone for a little over a week, and I kind of want to talk about the Texas redistricting, how that's affecting Black people. It's kind of isn't. It's just affecting the representation, but the representation wasn't doing shit anyway. And I wanted to touch on the Vivek, because I am going to start doing more content about the state of Ohio, because Vivek is running for governor in Ohio, and there's a lot of things going on, particularly in Cincinnati, in this state. Right? So that's the call-in number. Call in. I would love to hear from you. Yes, and I'm going to post P. Ray's website, Chicago Go Red, in the comment section and in the description as well. But I want to talk a little bit about Black Americans and immigrants, right? Because this came out this week. Sierra gained citizenship in Benny. I'm starting to see a trend of Black Americans tracing their roots and their lineage to whatever country in Africa, on the continent of Africa, and where you have, whether it's Benin or whether it's Senegal, whether it's Ghana, or even Kenya, they are granting Black Americans citizenship. So it says U.S. singer Ciara is one of the first public figures to become a citizen of Benin under a recent law by a small West African country granting citizenships to descendants of enslaved people. Now, my question with that would be, if she can trace her lineage back to Benin, was it Benin or along that region? Were they part of the Black Africans that sold off their own people to the white man? And this is why I'm calling BS on this repatriation. I don't know how you pronounce that word. I'm calling BS on Black Americans going to these different countries in Africa and gaining citizenship, because that is a way for these African countries to bypass paying reparations to Black America, along with the white man paying us reparations. Because there were a lot of African chiefs and African tribes that sold off their own people to the white man. Queen Zinga, as is prime example, she sold off her people to the Portuguese and the Dutch. So now they're saying, come home, come home, come home. We give you citizenship. Mind you, they only want the wealthy Black Americans, right? And they don't want to take accountability for being the ones selling us off to the white man. I have no interest in becoming a citizen in any country in Africa. I don't. But people like Ciara, people like Lauryn Hill, they're taking this very serious. Lauryn Hill, she arrived in Benin Republic to attend a citizenship and ancestry ceremony, right? But at the end of the day, you're still a Black American. You're going to come back home, Ciara and Lauryn Hill, to your family, to the perks and the freedoms of America that the United States of America offer, to the money, the infrastructure, the health care, all that. Because if America was so bad, you would have stayed in Jamaica, Lauryn Hill, with your baby father. If America was so bad, you would literally, Ciara, relocate your whole family to Benin. But you ain't going to do that because your husband is starting quarterback for the Giants. And he's wealthy, which makes you wealthy. And you want to live that wealthy New York lifestyle. Benin can't offer you that. They may give you some land, but you ain't going to work the land to harvest that land. You may go to Benin on a vacation to one of their very expensive resorts that is funded by Europeans. Oops. Give me a second, guys. You can't call in because I have to log in. I'm so sorry.
The conference is in presentation mode.
There you go. I didn't log in. All right, phone lines are open. Call into the show because I'm still testing the phone line, so I want you guys to call into the show. Yeah, Khalees, she's been to Africa. She bought land. She's opening up a luxury resort in Kenya. Yeah. So she got a little bit of slack, a little bit of backlash saying that she's part of the colonization, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here is, are you offering citizenship for all Black Americans who can connect their ancestry to Benny? No, you are not. No, you're not. You don't want the plumber. You don't want the school teacher. You don't want the man or the woman that works in McDonald's, or Walmart. You don't want those. You don't want the working class.
You are the last party in the conference.
What I'm doing here? Oops. Wait a minute.
The conference is in presentation mode.
Okay, there we go. All right, phone lines are open. Call in. So like I was saying, you don't want the average Black American. You want the people who have the money. That's what you want. Call in. Let's see. 848-488-9202. And let me pin it. All right, I pinned the number, and I really need somebody to call in because I need to test the phone line. So somebody call in.
You're not. Here I come.
Yeah, we ain't playing that. So yeah, so when you see these and they're all entertainers, they're celebrities, singers, actors, or what have you, or they're wealthy, right? And I get it. If you're already wealthy here and you have a business here, you want to expand your infrastructure to put your business over there in whatever country in Africa, that makes sense. But just for a regular citizenship, they want Black Americans with money. The same with Ghana. They only want people with money. They don't want the average American. Whether you have money or not, you will not have the luxuries of the United States of America. They claim, oh my God, it's so racist here, blah, 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 blah. But you still come back home to the United States. I have phone calls. Okay. Let's see. 310, hello?
Good day.
Hello?
Good day.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Now, 1 second. Guys, let me know if you guys can hear the caller. Let me know if you can hear the caller. Hi, caller. So anything you want to talk about or mention?
In Africa, right? To the various countries in order to seek some type of freedom.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so how what do you think about that?
I see it as a way of the various nations over there reaping benefits off of our people, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't financially, not just financially stable, but have some type of wealth, they don't want you.
Right. And I will say this too. We don't want to go now. We don't want to go because I don't think they have we pay into our Social Security, we pay into our retirement, they don't have the basic necessities that we're used to here, so we really don't want to go, but it's just, it's an observation that, we want to bridge the gap. You got the African Union and they want to, incorporate our reparations under African diaspora, African Union reparations, we all under one umbrella. And it's not a unity. It's not. They're still separating the haves and the have-nots, they're still not respecting our lineage and history here in America. So I think it's a big grift, and they're being very selective with who they want to come into their country and gain citizenship.
Pretty much, this is, as I just said, this is a topic that I do agree with you on. They have resources of their own and haven't been able to come together in unison to uplift themselves. So I don't see us running over there, other than, again, financially helping them when, again, we have our own issues and woes over here dealing with, the various false narratives that are being pushed on this land right here. And this is actually where we have a firm footing at, is here.
Right.
Many people don't realize the fact that as far as us, we predate everyone else over here in the Americas, North, South, and Central America. And a lot of that is beginning to come to light. So to run over there where they, again, will only use our monetary resources, to their benefits, I feel, is very foolish.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you, caller. Anything else you want to mention about any other topic? Or was that it?
No, I think I want to kind of leave it alone because I'm not a supporter of Democrats or Republicans. I mean, when I look at it as a whole, they've always worked in unison to orchestrate false narratives to get us at one another's throats. And anybody who's sat in that Oval Office as CEO, their main focus has always been making the wealthy people wealthier. So I, essentially really don't have a dog in that fight. And I wish we would kind of stop having amnesia and selective memory based on their moves, their business moves. I mean, it's a business and they are doing business. We keep ignoring that and acting as though it's about helping the people or we the people. And especially when you look at the organic constitution, it doesn't represent us and neither do they. So I'll just end it there. I appreciate you letting me speak, sister.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you as well. Shout out to Detroit because I see you calling from Detroit. Thank you so
Sure,
much.
yes, I'm definitely calling from Detroit.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace. And let me get to the next caller. Honey, I'm getting the hang of this. 862. Hi. Can you hear me? 862.
Hey, how you doing, Dana?
Good. How are you?
Oh man, we miss you over here in Jersey. But nevertheless, I'm a big fan of the show. I just wanted to call in and give you a little input on what I think about Sierra and all these other celebrities. For accepting my call. Keep up the good work, and I'm gonna always have your attention.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate you as well. Shout out to New Jersey. Yes, you calling from New Jersey.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Okay. Have a good one.
Bye.
You are the last party in the conference.
Okay. I don't want that to be speaking when people come on. So I got to figure out how to get that voice off it. But all right. Guys, phone lines are open. You said no audio. You couldn't hear him. He was talking. Let me see something.
I think I want to kind of leave it alone. I'm not a supporter of. They've always.
Yeah, he was. all under one umbrella. And I can't do it from here. Let me do it from here real quick and let me see something. Because I checked. I heard him. Maybe he was just going in and out. Oh, you guys couldn't hear him. I don't know. Okay, I need somebody else to call in. I need somebody else to call in because that was a really good caller. Y'all guys could not hear him. We heard none of the dudes. Okay, y'all heard none of his call. Why not? Can somebody else call in so I could test these phone lines, honey? I'm using this as a guinea pig right about now. Yeah, y'all didn't hear nothing he said. Oh, wow. Let me see something. All right. I wish somebody I didn't hear him, but we can now. All right, so that's what I'm saying. He left. So I don't know why you guys couldn't hear him. That's why I wanted somebody else. I want somebody else to call in. Just call in. I need to test the phone lines real quick. I would like for 2 people to call in because maybe I'm not doing something right. Why is it so hard for y'all to call in? No, I'm not. Actually, I like this phone line. All right, it's just me. I like the phone line. We heard the lady, but yeah. Okay, I see a person here. 252.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you
What's up,
hear me?
Dana?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Hey. All right, I want to. Can you guys hear him? I want to make sure that they can hear you. I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, you do? What's good?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I can hear him as well. Do you want to
Oh,
say
yeah.
anything about the topics, or you was just calling in to help me test the phone
You
line?
are the last party in the conference.
Okay, he hung up. All right. But okay, so you guys heard him. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why couldn't he? I know he did sound far away. I'm gonna have to come. I don't know. No, I don't want to come back later on tonight and do a test. I may have to just do a test call-in show tomorrow. Can somebody else call in? Come here, baby. I want one more person. Well, I want 2 people to call in. I would like for 2 people to call in before I get off. I don't know why it's so hard for y'all to call in. Like, just call in and say hi so I could test. All right. Maybe. Oh, how can I need something to go across. Let's see. Why my thing won't come up? No. There we go. Okay, like that. How can the logo thing? I'm gonna have to make the phone thing bigger. The other guy must have called from Obama phone. Okay, good. I see a couple of people. Where at? 414. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
How
how
are
are
you?
you? Hi. Good. This is Sonia. I'm calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was just calling to congratulate P. Ray for trying to get in Congress. I'm so excited. I am like literally like an hour and something away from Chi-Town, and I support her all the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm excited for her as well. And that's I'm like, I'm going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we need that. We need, fresh voices, new voices, and people who actually want to work for the people. So,
Absolutely. Mhm. We need more real, honest Black people to start standing up that really wants to work for our community. And so like I put in the chat, I am going after my alderman here in Milwaukee.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that I think, a lot of people are fed up with their local representation, especially on the state level. And people need to start coming together, banding together, and making sure that their voices are heard and getting, having an agenda and getting resources and public policy passed. So yeah, a lot of these politicians, they're not representing the people properly like they should. It's a problem.
Exactly. Mine is not gonna be about money because, so we Black people.
Give me 1 second. Yes. Okay. I just need to. She went silent for one. What do you mean she went silent? I'm listening to her now. She. Oh no.
And so it is something on your end.
It must
'Cause I'm still
be.
talking. So yeah,
Oh, it is on my end.
right.
She did go out.
Oh, I'm still here now, but
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
okay,
I don't know.
okay.
Thank you for calling in. This is really a test,
Oh,
and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna
okay,
listen
yeah.
to it so I can make sure I'm doing the right thing because I want to make sure when I do my shows, people call in and it won't be an issue. But I thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
310. 310. Callie, can you hear me? 310.
Ana,
Yes.
this is Walter. I just called to test in.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
Walter. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Now, chat. Can you hear the caller? Can you hear Walter? I'm trying to listen on my phone, but it's always like a delay. Oh, okay, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
Thank you, Walter. I love that you support the platform. Thank you so much. You're here every
You're welcome.
live. You donate. I really, really appreciate you, Walter. And thank you so much for calling in so I could test these phone lines.
All right. Take care.
All right,
Bye.
you too. Bye bye.
You are the last party in the conference.
What is this? 504. Can you hear me? Oh no, they hung up. All right. Okay, you can hear Walter. Okay, cool. Oh, maybe I'm hitting buttons and I don't need to be hitting. So, okay, so I think I know what to do now. All right, guys. This was fun. Back from vacation, about to be on the grind. I will see you guys Friday night for the panel, honey. Yes, the panel's going to be popping. I will see you guys tonight for the panels. Let me take this off. Ain't nobody sending no damn donations, but that's fine. Cause y'all represent on Fridays, honey. Y'all always bless the platform. Oh, but Walter did. Thank you, Walter, for the Cash App. Listen, thank you everybody tuned in. Of course, thank you to P. Ray. Love her to pieces. She's running for Congress. I will see you guys Friday night for our panel debate. Have a wonderful week. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.